Good morning on Friday, the 15th of November 2024. It's 8 a.m. in the Gambia and therefore coffee time on West Coast Radio with me, Peter Gomez. And coffee time is brought to you in association with the USA PEEC and GAM Food Trading, Easy Financial Services, Global Properties, Wave, Bloombank Africa, TAF Africa Global, and the Gambia Experience.
The American Chicken Festival 2024 is here. Join us for the second annual celebration of all things chicken on Saturday, November 23rd at Hyperlink Village, Palmer Junction, Bethel Harding Highway from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Hello, I am Chef Boje. I'm excited to return for the second annual Chicken Festival.
With over 40 international options from a diverse list of vendors. Music by DJ Wanjo, raffles, the variety show, and plenty of family-friendly fun.
From local to international, we got something for everyone.
Come see and taste the difference. Make it a date and don't be late.
And coming up in the program, education is a top priority, the authorities tell us, because it is a basic human right and the foundation on which to build peace and drive sustainable development. But including all learners, boys as well as girls, able-bodied as well as children with disabilities, and ensuring that each individual has an equal and personalized opportunity for educational progress is still a challenge for the government. We'll tell you what steps have finally been taken to address the problem. Tunisia has won Group A with a game to spare, pushing the Gambia into a must-win situation as it prepares to take on Comoros in the penultimate round of qualifiers for next year's Africa Cup of Nations, or AFCON 2025. I'll be asking how ready, physically and mentally, the Scorpions are for today's big game. And Senegalese voters return to the polls on Sunday in legislative elections that will determine whether President Diomaye Faye and his government can gain control over the National Assembly and push through their agenda for reforms. My guest is a Gambian politician who earns a living in that country and therefore will be helping us understand what else is at stake and which other key players there are. Meanwhile, he comes with a special message for his compatriots. Gambians, he advises, should closely scrutinize the leadership and choices by those in power. Plus, of course, today's newspaper front pages. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. If I own a business account with Trust Bank, how can I pay salaries to my employees to other banks?
Kindly send us an instruction through your corporate officer, that's your relationship manager. Send the instruction through a hard copy and we will kindly process for you. It is easy, it is simple. We will need few information from you. Each customer's name, the BBAN, and the bank it needs to be sent to. The BBAN should be complete and it should be in 18 digits. Please kindly forward this and then it will be processed the same day and all the funds will be credited in other banks as well. Thank you.
We begin our press review with the Point newspaper. Gambia yet to fully implement EU recommendations on electoral reforms. Barrow to attend Guinea-Bissau's independence anniversary celebration. Number of Gambian migrants to Europe increases despite political statements. GBOS to conduct 2024 economic census and business survey. Basse residents raise concern over police misconduct in URR. 29,000 euro community garden project to transform 100 women's lives. And EU vessels to stop fishing in Senegal. On to Foroya's front page, requirements and conditions for Gambian workers in Spain yet to be received. National Assembly to commence budget session today. MD Jobate says Albeyrak to finance infrastructure of Sanyang Deep Seaport. Commission investigating KMC's double payments to Ami Bensouda's law firm. GCCI and FAO launch platform to tackle challenges in fisheries sector. And EU election mission calls for legal reforms to improve Gambia's electoral process. Next, a look at the Voices front cover. EU recommends legislative changes in Gambia's electoral system. MOP says unsettled UTG debt denies graduating education students of papers. Narcotics officer KMO affirms 30 blocks of cocaine belong to 4 Portuguese ladies, and Accountant General's Department names officials for failing to retire over $19 million outstanding imprests. We end with the Standards Friday front cover. Government tables $52.9 billion budget today. Ex-KMC CEO released after pleading with LG Commission. Doctor exposes sorry state of labor ward during donation of power system. CMD Bitte steps in for Minister Samate in AKI trial. German ambassador inaugurates €29,000 women's community garden project. EU election mission urges electoral reforms, and memorial to Africans lost at sea to be constructed in the Gambia. And that was your first look at the front pages of Friday's newspapers. Our thanks to The Standard, Foraya, The Point, and The Voice.
Looking for an establishment where value for money and unrivaled services with admirable turnaround time is guaranteed? The Port of Banjul is the perfect place for you. A vital gateway for trade offering connections to numerous global destinations. With improved infrastructure combined with a flexible tariff, the Port of Banjul remains a vital node in maritime trade. Along with its dedicated workforce, efficient service delivery, technology-inspired innovation, and an impressive record in handling all types of cargo, the Port of Banjul is also widely acknowledged as one of the safest ports on the continent, with no history of piracy. As a major player in the region's maritime trade, accounting for 90% of all imports and exports, we are more than just a transit point, but a vital cog in the global trade sphere. Come experience a hassle-free fast customs clearance inspired by our simplified trade documentation procedures, safe and efficient cargo and vessel handling. The Port of Banjul offers prompt, reliable and value for money service, and customer satisfaction is guaranteed.
It's Friday, the 15th of November, 2024, and live on West Coast Radio, it's Coffee Time with me, Peter Gomez. Thanks for joining us. Now, as the country seeks to strengthen its national educational system, finding ways of including all learners and ensuring that each individual has an equal opportunity for educational progress remains a major challenge. Recognizing that education institutions can play a significant role in the effort to achieve wider gender equality, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology is moving towards embedding inclusion and equity in its educational policy. Rohit Samba explains.
For the first time, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, in collaboration with the Commonwealth of Learning, organizes a day-long stakeholder consultative workshop for the development of national inclusive gender policy for the tertiary and higher education sector. Dr. Mukhtar M.Y. Dabo, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, expressed delight about the policy.
This remarkable gathering marks a significant milestone in our nation's commitment to gender inclusivity in education. Today, as we embark on developing a national inclusive gender policy for tertiary and higher education, we take a bold step forward towards building a system that is fair, empowering, and accessible to all. Education is not just a pathway to opportunity. It is a foundational right, essential for personal growth, social stability, and national progress.
Kumba Jammeh, Principal Research Officer, also the Ministry's gender focal person, highlights the importance of the policy and how it will be implemented.
So this policy here today, we are developing with very important, very relevant stakeholders. We want it to be as inclusive as we can. Implementation after the policy development process, we want to include all stakeholders for its implementation. You know, at the ministry, at the policy level, we develop the policies, but we need our institutions to implement this policy.
Demba Sala, GTMI gender focal person, said, gender does not only look at girls' issues or women issues, but it is cross-checking, as it affects both men and women.
And the issues that we are discussing are issues that would create an enabling environment where men and women can have the potentials and the possibilities of, developing themselves and also significantly contributing to national development. That is all. It doesn't have to be whether it's a girl or a boy, a man or a woman. And this is for everybody to have the same understanding that if they have the same qualities, the same competence, equal opportunities to be given to all of them. And it doesn't have to be also the disabled.
It is anticipated that this policy will help address various issues relating to gender inequity and disability, as they affect access to enrollment, retention, and graduation of females and persons with disability at the tertiary and higher education level. Reporting for West Coast Radio, I am Rahisam.
And live on West Coast Radio, it's coffee time with me, Peter Gomez, brought to you in association with WAVE, TAF Africa Global, Bloombank Africa, Easy Financial Services, the Gambia Experience, USA PEEC, and GAM Food Trading and Global Properties.
Did you know service plots are now available at Baki? Welcome to Baki, Taft City's fourth residential estate.
Yes, service plots available at Baki with 3 years interest-free payment plan with a minimum deposit of only $94,000, and it will come with fence plot, water reticulation, electricity, solar street lights, and bituminized internal roads. Are you ready to build your dream home for yourself?
Call us now.
Welcome back, and if you'd like to advertise on the program, get in touch with Mr. Jibril Jassi on 699-0107, 787-0107, or 924-2424. They caused a major upset last month by winning in Tunisia to end a run of 16 straight home victories by the Carthage Eagles. That's the quality of opposition the Gambia Scorpions face later as penultimate matches in the qualifiers for AFCON 2025 continue across the continent. Coached by an Italian, Comoros is composed mainly of footballers from the lower French leagues, as opposed to a Gambian side boasting players plying their trades in top European leagues, including arguably the best of the lot, the English Premier League. But it's Comoros that will qualify from Group A behind winners Tunisia if they beat the Scorpions. The match is being played in Morocco because the Gambia lacks an international standard stadium. Ibu Fai is the second vice president of the Gambia Football Federation, the GFF, always traveling with the senior team. I discussed today's match with him late yesterday.
The match will be in Barkan, which is a bit far from Casablanca.
So is the team based in Barkan, or do you have to travel to Barkan? And if so, how many hours between where you are lodged and the match venue?
The team is based in Sadia. We travel to Barkan for our training, which is about 45 minutes from where we are based, because in Barkan there is no hotel to accommodate the national team. It's only a 3-star hotel, and nowadays we accommodate in 5-star hotel.
And health-wise, what is the situation with the team? Is everybody healthy and injury-free, ready for the game later?
Yes, everybody is injury-free. Everybody is fully fit, and every player is training. We have 24 players in camp, and all of us met the same day. I think this is the first time even this is happening in the national team, whereby everybody happens to come on the same day. And we were able to train in Casablanca before moving to Sadia and train yesterday. So everybody is fit. Yeah. Minte is also, as most people were questioning his fitness, he is fully fit, prepared. He even did some tests yesterday and he is well prepared. Maybe it's only his match sharpness, but apart from that, he's training very well and prepared for the match.
It's very reassuring, Ibu, to hear that we have all our top guns ready to fire on all cylinders. This is a huge game. It's being talked about all over the country. Are the boys aware of the scale of this match?
Yes, I think all of them are fully aware. All of them know the importance of this game. That's why no one was prepared to come late to camp, knowing that, This is a very key match for the country. To qualify, it can have a serious implication whether we qualify or not. So all of them are fully aware and all of them are taking full responsibility. They are meeting as players, totally outside of the coaches. So they are well prepared and well focused to make sure that, we are able to get the necessary points, and that's why Minte even sacrificed himself, even though he haven't played for Brighton for a while, sacrificed himself to come, just to make sure that he plays for this country. So all the players are fully focused and well prepared for this important and we can say must-win game that can, determine our fate in our qualification.
But what about the coaches? How have the coaches been preparing for this game, especially the head coach? Did McKinstry have to maybe change his training approach and possibly even the way he's going to attack this game later?
Well, he's preparing very well because he knows the ability of his players and also he knows the strength and the weakness of Comoros, which he tried to explain to the players, and he has structured his training formations and strategies to fit that. So hopefully it worked out for the Gambia, but the issue is since he took over, the Gambia normally play an attacking formation and also create a lot of chances, but we do not take our chances. And that's one thing that he's putting on the players. That the reason we are in this situation is because we haven't taken our chances in all our matches. Especially our match against Comoros the last time. We created so many chances, but we did not capitalize. So it's for the players to make sure they are well concentrated, they are well calm, and also to take their chances. If we take our chances, we will not have a problem. But on the other hand, also we have to defend very well not to concede a goal.
Ibu, the Scorpions have played their home matches away from home for the past 3 years at least. How much has the lack of support affected our performances, do you think?
It has affected the team immensely, because every player wants to play, with your supporters supporting you. You have seen in our last match when we had at least about 300 Gambians supporting the team, how the atmosphere was. Playing in the Gambia is the most important thing for any Gambian player, to play with your fans. But it has been unfortunate. This time around we wanted to play home, but unfortunately CAF did not give the approval. So we have to play away. And even playing here will be difficult because this place is far away from where the Gambians are. Most Gambians are in Rabat or in Casablanca. And we have to take a flight for about 1.5 hours to come here. So it's very, very far. So what we hope, that will not be a disadvantage for us, even though it has helped us or we have qualified without playing in the Gambia, but that's not the ideal situation. That's not the best situation to be. The best situation would have been to play at home with our Gambian people and they're supporting the team, giving the team the moral that it requires, and push the team when it's necessary, because that way our supporters are important. When the team is doing badly, the supporters supporting, they will push the team. And the boys will realize that I have to do more because my people are supporting me. So it has been bad for the Gambia. But we just hope that we're able to get the results and, by next year we'll be able to start playing back at home.
So you are not expecting much support in Barkan for this game against Comoros?
We might have some, but not as the last time, because the last time it was in Casablanca, which is, most Gambians are, or in Rabat, those who are going to school. So, but in Barkan, I don't think there's many Gambians here, because it's far and it's cold and it's, totally different from Casablanca. So we don't expect to see much Gambians.
Well, listen, Ibu, our prayers with you all in Morocco. And just finally, what message might you have for the Gambian people, especially football fans?
Yeah, Peter, I think as much as we need the prayers, it's for us now to deliver. We are in a very good hotel, Radisson Blue, top quality hotel. The environment is great. We have a very good training place. Everything has been going according to plan. Now the players will deliver. I'm so of that, and the coaches, and we'll work hard. We'll fight. Football is not only about quality, but it's also about the grit, the determination to roll your sleeves, prepare to fight for our country. And the players will do that and deliver the expected results that all the Gambians are yearning for. So keep on praying, and we'll do the fighting here to make sure we get the points to qualify or to have put ourselves in a good position of qualifying. Thank you.
That was Ibu Fai, second vice president of the Gambia Football Federation. Well, my guest is a huge football enthusiast with a thing or two to say about today's match. So let's seize the opportunity to introduce him. Momodou Ba, or Momodou Ba 1, is an educator by profession in Senegal and a politician by choice in the Gambia. In 2021, he was minded to run against President Barrow, but later U-turned to give his support to the incumbent. Well, their alliance didn't last long, and he's back making plans to challenge Barrow in 2026. He joins me this morning to discuss naturally Gambian politics, but also because Senegal voters return to the polls this weekend to choose their next president, their next parliament rather, we will also be looking at Senegalese politics. But as I said, first up is football. The Gambia taking on Comoros in Morocco later today. Welcome to Coffee Time again. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you, Peter.
So what do you think of that game?
Yeah, thank you. Greetings to your listeners first. And it's always a pleasure to be here. So we are expecting a good game with Comoros. It is our month, Scorpion month.
It is our month?
Yeah, because, most of our players were born in November.
Oh, so
including me, myself, 2nd November, you have Barrow, Musa Barrow, 14th November. All of them were born in the same day. Musa Barrow, Abdoulaye Diallo, and someone else again. Wow. There are 3 of them.
You're more current in football matters, especially, Gambian footballers than I am.
So hopefully we'll win this game, based on such luck.
It's just a hope.
Yeah, it's just a hope, yeah.
You're not confident that we will win. You can't look at anybody in the eye and say the Scorpions will beat Comoros today.
Yes, now African football, you can't expect anything. All the teams, are almost the same. We have the same capacity. We any team that can win, but as your team, you will say you are hopeful that you are going to win. So we are hopeful that the Gambia is going to win, and then that will give us chance to qualify. Maybe in our next game also, if you have a draw against the other team, is it
Tunisia?
Tunisia.
Yeah, it's Tunisia. Okay. As you know, we depend on adverts in this program, so we will go to a quick commercial break, and then we will come back and we will talk politics with Momodou Ba. It's Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, live on 92.1 on FM. You'll find us online at www.wcr.gm, and we are now also on YouTube.
The American Chicken Festival 2024 is here. Join us for the 2nd annual celebration of all things chicken on Saturday, November 23rd at Hyperlink Village, Palmer Junction, Bethel Harding Highway from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Hello, I am Chef Bote, I'm excited to return for the second annual Chicken Festival.
With over 40 international options from a diverse list of vendors. Music by DJ Wanjo, raffles, the variety show, and plenty of family-friendly phone.
From local to international, we got something for everyone.
Come see and taste the difference. Make it a date and don't be late.
Welcome back, and yes, we always encourage businesses to advertise with us because that's what keeps us on air. If you are a businessman, obviously you will have your advert on West Coast Radio.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
Even maybe possibly some political ads in the future.
Well, I'm looking forward to 2026.
Inshallah.
Very good. And of course, 2026, you're an aspirant.
Inshallah.
In fact, that's how you signed up. Momodu Ba 1, aspirant to the presidency of the Republic of the Gambia 2026, inshallah.
Inshallah, God willing.
Why Momodu Ba 1?
Yes, Momodu Ba 1, it was given to us by IEC because we were two Momodu Bas. So in a bit to...
Yeah, that was only for the election purposes of 2021.
Yes. So
there may not be any need for Momodu Ba 1 or Momodu Ba 2 again.
Maybe, you know, if there are Momodu Bas, if there are other Momodu Bas again, or they will join the line. 3, 4.
You've written a long article, very interesting article. You title it, A Critical Look at President Barrow's Leadership, Diplomatic Missteps and Priorities Misaligned. And you conclude with some advice for Gambians, and I suppose Gambian voters, right? You say, Gambians should closely scrutinize the leadership and choices made by those in power.
Absolutely.
Before we, look at Gambian politics, you make a living in Senegal.
Yes.
As a teacher.
That's correct.
Right? Senegalese go to the polls again on Sunday to elect a new parliament. President Diomaye Faye and Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko are looking for a strong majority, so that they can push their agenda for the Senegalese. It's been ugly, to say the least. I mean, what direction is Senegalese politics taking, do you think?
Yeah, it's like Senegalese people voted for Faye in the presidential election and gave him 54% of the vote. And that was in the first round. That was for the first time they did that. So that was the first leg, and then now they are going to the second leg, that is the National Assembly elections, because that will give them a leeway to what they want, in Senegal. For example, no budget can be passed, without having, having the backing of the National Assembly. So you see how important it is.
That is the current situation.
That is the current situation.
Okay.
So they have a project. Diomaye Sonko, they have a project, and that is Senegal Horizon 2050. That is 2050. So in order for that to be successful, they need a backing at the National Assembly. And now, for them, for the opposition, this is their last chance. Most of them, like the old system, with the frustrated ones, they are all gathered together in coalitions. So it is a contest. It is a survival. Last survival contest for most of them. So this is why also the opposition, they are doing all they could, using all the means they could, in order to make sure that at least they have, they have some portion of the MPs,
And of course, the most striking thing about the parliamentary election is that the former president is running for a seat in the National Assembly, isn't he?
Yes, it's just by form, it's just by form.
What do you mean by form?
It's just something that they are doing, but in the end, they are not going to be there, they just want to...
How do you mean they're not going to be there? If he wins?
Yeah, if he wins, like previously, Abdoulaye Wade also did that. That is just to coordinate the team behind him. That is just to gather support.
So if he stands and wins, he does not necessarily have to.
He will withdraw, and then others will will come, because it is through list. They go, they do their elections through a list.
Okay.
So they present a list. It is a particular list that goes to the election.
Okay.
List of candidates.
Okay.
This is why they call it.
All right.
List.
7 minutes remaining. So you've penned this critical look at Barrow's leadership, his diplomatic missteps and priorities misaligned. Diplomatic missteps. Let's start with those.
Yes, as we speak, I have no idea whether His Excellency President Barrow is in the country. Do you have any idea?
Yes, he is, and he's on his way to Guinea-Bissau for their independence anniversary celebration.
Wonderful. So it is good for the people, to know his whereabouts. Unfortunately, they are not transparent on their travels. So when they travel,
because you Gambians, you complain a lot that they travel and waste your tax money on per diem payments.
Yes, but when you travel, you have to make it clear the reason why you travel, and that when you come back again in the country, you have to explain to the Gambian people the reason why you travel, and
how your travel has benefited the country.
Yeah, this is transparency. But there is no transparency in terms of Barrow's travel, Barrow and his government's travel. The last time they just released a press release saying that the president was supposed to travel to Morocco. That was that was on the 6th of this month, Wednesday. So traveling for what? They said private. They just said private, for private visit. So I understand.
Yeah, but presidents travel, the world over on private visits.
No, private visit, but it has to be a particular. You have to be, most of the time it is a state visit.
Yeah, most of the time it is state visit,
Yeah.
but they also do, embark on private visits.
Okay, let's stop at that private visit in Morocco. Like when the president is going to Morocco, and we know that that's where Macky Sall is right now, it poses a problem. When he says,
Why?
Yes, because when he says a private visit and Macky Sall is in Morocco, it could be a problem. It could be a diplomatic problem between Gambia and Senegal. For the simple fact that Macky is there, so the Senegalese people might think that President Barrow is going to meet Macky Sall.
Yeah, but just because the Senegalese people think that
not the Senegalese people actually,
well,
but
that's what you said.
the government, the Senegalese government, because a friend to a friend, in diplomacy, a friend to your enemy.
So you're suggesting that
it's your enemy.
Diomaye Faye and Ousmane Sonko, now expect Adama Barrow to have nothing to do with Macky Sall?
I'm supposing that they might expect that President Barrow, is in connivance with.
So Barrow going to Morocco
yes.
when Macky Sall is there is what you consider to be a diplomatic misstep.
It could be a diplomatic misstep because of the Senegalese government could think that Barrow is in connivance with Macky Sall in order to do something bad for them.
Okay.
So in the diplomatics, everything is put on the table.
Okay.
They cannot be just generous like that.
Okay.
So this is why we have to be very, very
Apart
careful.
from that one, what other diplomatic misstep would you want to highlight?
Yes, during that time, Barrow was supposed to be, His Excellency Adama Barrow was supposed to be in Saudi for the OIC joint meeting with the Arab nations.
Well, there's nothing to suggest that.
No, you know why? Because he's the chairman he's the sitting chair of the OIC.
But government has made it clear that this was not an OIC meeting.
It is wrong. It is wrong to disqualify it as not an OIC meeting because it is the organized. Let's say the organizers. Saudi were the organizers.
Yes.
But it was a joint
and
meeting.
Saudi foreign ministry at that.
Yeah. Yes. But
it's not even the Saudi, prince that.
No, it's Saudi. It's Saudi. Saudi.
Yes.
Saudi. The kingdom of Saudi.
The official explanation is this was a meeting organized by the Saudi Foreign Ministry of the Arab Muslim, and it's officially called the Arab Muslim Summit.
Yeah, whom did the Saudi ministry organize it for? First, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia
yes.
first. It is organized by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Okay. So now, then joined by the Arab League, joined by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. And the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, President Barrow is the chair, is the current chair. So by this time, he should have been there. And look at the delegation. Who and who did they take along? Look at the delegation. Most of them, they are connected with these OIC stuffs. So which means, they were supposed to be there.
The foreign minister had to be there.
Yeah, the foreign minister.
Because the foreign ministers had to meet before the heads of state, met. And Yankuba Diba, Ambassador Yankuba Diba, as he's called these days, the CEO of Gambia OIC Secretariat.
The CEO of Gambia OIC. Yeah. Why did they have to put there the CEO of Gambia? Because it has something to do with it. Just like the journalist associations organizing an event, in the Gambia.
Okay.
So is your organization not going to take part of it?
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
So does it. And then also it is also a platform for the Gambia, to be known, in the outside world. It is a platform for people to hear Gambia's voices, diplomatic voices, because President Barrow was supposed to take a speech there. He was supposed to deliver a speech there.
But the head of Gambian diplomacy was the one leading the delegation there.
Did he talk? Did they will have informed us?
Well, we don't have that information.
No, they would have published it. Because they knew that we said that it has denied the Gambia.
No, he addressed the meeting because the Point newspaper, which usually tells you everything about Dr. Mamadou Tangara, did carry an article.
Peter, this is
on his speech.
This is an international platform that will also give you opportunity to network with other leaders as well.
Well, he doesn't tell people what he does outside, but I'm sure he networks.
Preferring to sit in Morocco for 1 good week without people knowing anything that he's doing there, for the detriment of, our diplomacy, good relationship with the Arab world, I think that is definitely uncalled for.
Okay. So, what about the priorities misaligned?
Yes.
Is it still in the area of diplomacy?
Yes, the priorities. While they were supposed to be in some were supposed to be in Saudi Arabia, others were supposed to go to the COP. There was a problem there because the vice president even couldn't leave. The vice president couldn't leave for Azerbaijan for the COP.
Well, maybe. That also depends on when he is scheduled to speak. Because usually they travel. Not all the leaders arrive at the start of the COP.
But what did they say? They say he was supposed to lead the delegation.
Yeah. Yes. When the president travels, there's always an advanced party, isn't it?
Peter, you are playing the devil's. You are playing the devil's advocate. You are playing the devil's advocate.
I'm simply telling you what is.
Yeah.
I mean, the vice president went to Egypt, spent days there before he gave his speech.
Yeah, but
so we could have said, why did he go there and was paid all that per diem?
But
when he could have waited until a day or two before his speech.
According to the press release, the VP was supposed to lead the team to the COP. Yes.
Head of delegation.
Yes, head of delegation.
Head of delegation does not always have, to be the first to leave.
I'm just trying to correlate, how Barrow's travel to Morocco has jumbled up things, both in Azerbaijan and Saudi Arabia, just for one personal or private reason.
So what should he have done? Let's say he's listening to you now. Momoduba is advising me. Let's say, you've gone back to when you were on good terms with each other.
Yeah, first of all, he should try to, he should try to stop, his direct link with Macky Sall, because it's not good for our country.
He should stop that?
Yes, he should stop that. He should stop there's nothing that it can bring to us other than misunderstandings. And we don't.
So that is how
we don't want.
That is how the Jamai Faye Sonko government is jealous of.
I don't know. That is how. But this is for me personally. As a specialist of in Senegambian relations, as a specialist.
Well, as a specialist,
yes.
you would know for sure. Your research would have shown that these people are jealous of any ongoing relations between Barrow and Sall.
Yes, naturally, I know they wouldn't like it. Naturally, I wouldn't like it, but they haven't shown anything in the media. They haven't shown yet any. Normally, what will happen? They would have even.
Okay.
They will have.
So
even
Barrow
invited,
should stop his relationship with Macky Sall.
They would have invited maybe the Gambian ambassador in Dakar. Normally, through diplomacy.
For what?
I mean, for them to show out their
disapproval of
it. Okay. The way they do it is they call.
They would summon the Gambian ambassador.
They would summon the Gambian ambassador and discuss with him.
Okay.
So that is diplomacy. It's happening. Maybe who knows whether.
So Barrow should discontinue ties with Macky Sall.
Yes.
What next?
And the last time also I heard our Minister of Environment, talking about the high rise of water, of seas, in Basse, to be as a consequence of, the flood there.
Climate change.
Climate change.
As a result of climate change.
As a result.
So they have floods.
Yeah, they have floods.
Yes.
But also he fails to underline the fact that it is not only linked with climate change. It is not only linked with climate change. This has something to do with, a man-made decision.
And what is that decision?
That is why we have to investigate to know our country very well. Because geographically, there is a dam. There is a dam in Samangalu, in southeast Senegal, in Kédougou, where when they discharge water, it comes and disturbs, the ecosystem around the sub-region between Senegal and Gambia. This is information to you, and it is information to them.
So nobody knew this until Momoduba just announced it on the radio.
We are in serious business, Peter. I don't want to be president because I want to be president. I want to be president because I know the problems of my country.
What other problems does the Gambia have that you will help with?
Yeah. So we need to have because there is a dam. There is a dam, as I told you, at the.
We have to be done in maximum 5 minutes.
Yes. So there is a dam at the Samangalu, that is in the southeast region of Senegal, which is operated by Senegal. Okay, under the OMVG. On the OMVG project. Okay, so there need to be a strong communication between the authorities, okay, between the different departments, water resources department, and others like the ministers, between the two countries.
So how
that at any time that they want to, anytime they want to release that water,
and why do they release that water?
Yeah, because there is a reservoir, because it's a dam.
Yeah.
So it stores water.
Yeah.
In billions of cubic meters.
Liters.
Cubic meters.
Meters or liters?
Cubic meter.
Okay.
Yeah, the measurement. Yeah. So that is billions of cubic meters. So that is what they store there, in a form of reservoir. But at some point, they will have to release that water. They will have to discharge that water, And when they discharge that water, this is the water that comes up to Basse and then disturbs.
So when you become president, what will you do about that?
Yeah, these are negotiations. You cannot just.
And if they fail to listen to you, how do you deal with the Senegalese?
It's not a fact. That is leadership failure. Failing to listen to me, that is leadership failure. Something that we share together. We need to discuss about it. Something that you share together, because it is true. It is in Senegal, but it is something that has to do with us. Because that's where electricity is generated. It is a hydroelectric power. So. We need to
we are benefiting from that electricity, are we?
Yes, recently you see you've heard about that. Some kilowatts were being negotiated by NAWEC, coming from Guinea, and also it's not only that dam.
So the electricity from Guinea passes through that dam.
Yeah, it's not that only
or
that
dam contributes to the electricity.
That dam contributes to it. But if you go to Guinea also, at the Konkure River, there are 2 other dams. There, Kaleta and then the Swapiti dams. They are all contributing to the OMVG energy.
I'm afraid we may not have all the time you need maybe to go into other issues. Just in 2 minutes, how would you like to end this conversation?
Yes, I think we have to really know what our problems are in this country. We have to try to identify our problems. And I think also we have to, see how to go by our relationship with Senegal. Because I keep emphasizing our relationship with Senegal because we have so many things in common. Today.
But the Banjul will say there are no problems between in our relationship with Senegal.
Yes, but there are conflicts lying waiting to happen. It's just that the current government maybe are not fully aware of exactly what is at stake. This is the problem. We are faced with very incompetent government who are not aware of so many things that are at play.
Which of the 2 governments is incompetent?
I mean our own government.
Okay, Gambia government.
Gambia government who doesn't know how to deal with our relationship with Senegal, and this is something that we have to be very, very careful of. Right now, today, Senegal, is in the space. Senegal is in the space.
They have the resources.
They have the resources.
We would love to go to space if we have the resources.
Even if we didn't go today, by looking at the geographical location of Senegal and Gambia, Senegal is inside Gambia. So the data that they are capturing.
Senegal is inside Gambia.
I mean, Gambia is inside Senegal.
Okay.
Geographically.
Yes. That makes sense to me.
Geographically.
Yes.
Yeah. So now the data that they are capturing from space, how can they capture the data in Senegal without capturing Gambia? This is a point of discussion.
All right, Mamadou, thank you very much for your time this morning. Unfortunately, you have more to say. We can accommodate. I mean, it's Friday.
Okay.
You are putting this on because you want to go to the mosque. So we've already eaten 10 minutes into an Islamic program. Thank you so very much for coming. 2025 will be a very interesting year. The lead up to it starts in 2025.
Yes. No, I mean the presidential election.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I am saying 2025 will be a very interesting year, the lead up to 2026. I am aware that the elections are in 2026, even if I'm not standing as a politician.
Who knows?
You should, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Well, as you heard in the newspaper headlines, the budget session gets underway in the National Assembly today. And thanks to a partnership with Gambia Participates, throughout next week we'll be bringing you interesting conversations on the proposed national budget and the budgeting process. So don't miss the series. That's all for today and the week. Thank you very much for the pleasure of your company.
Thank you.